Let's make a soul connection. Soul to soul connection. Heart to heart.
Welcome to Sixth Sense and Beyond. I'm Christina Andrianopoulos.
And I'm psychic medium Katherine Glass.
And we have an exciting show today, backed by popular demand. Who?
Jonathan Glass, my partner in crime and life.
Oh, that's wonderful. And he's the proprietor of the Healing Essence Center.
That's right. We own a healing center in Concord, and back by popular demand, and also we promised we'd have him back on the air.
Yes.
He's an accomplished acupuncturist and Ayurvedic medical medicine practitioner. But today we're going to be actually talking to Jonathan. He also happens to be a very gifted energy healer and a conduit of healing energies. So he has developed his own modality called Jivatma healing, and he's going to tell us about that today. And he's actually teaching classes for healers in this modality. So it's very exciting
great
stuff.
No, you must stay, especially if you have aches and pains all over, even soul pains.
Soul
you know?
pain, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical pain.
Right. And we also will be doing our psychic challenge. We'll have 3 items where you have a chance to work on your sixth sense and cultivate that. So you'll be able to pick one of them that Katherine will project to you. So don't go away. Get a pencil and paper if you like, right? And then, of course, at the end, we'll finish with a great psychic tip that all of us could use.
And then I'll give a psychic reading on the air too.
Oh, let's not forget our lucky guest. Yeah. You can also be one who can have an on-air reading by writing to us at readings@sixthsenseandbeyond.com, and then we'll get in touch with you if you're available. That would be just wonderful, wouldn't it? Great. Okay, but we couldn't do it without our sponsors, Julio's Liquors, Spirit Meets Spirit, and then also Commerce Bank. Thank you so much for supporting local television and allowing us to be on air and be in your homes as well.
And the Healing Essence Center in West Concord, Massachusetts, which I mentioned before.
Yep, that's great. And also we have Christian Ray, who makes us all look like celebrities from Mercury Moda, and the YMCA, so much more, celebrating 150 years in the central Massachusetts Worcester area.
They're a great, great company.
Absolutely. Okay, and you know what? Ready to go,
take
right?
It on to Jonathan. Bring him on.
Drum roll.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hi.
Welcome
Happy
for
to be
coming
here.
back.
Thank you.
I love having you on. You just have this essence of peace around you.
Serenity, so
You have a beautiful aura. Look at
Well,
that.
thank
It's
you.
just
You should be
glowing.
giving me a reading.
Yeah, she will be very soon, trust me. It rubs off.
So, what are you here for today, Jonathan?
Tell us
Well,
about
I'm
your
here to
energy
talk
work.
about energy healing and a modality of energy healing called Jivatma energy healing that I've developed over the last many years. And I happen to be teaching a class this weekend. And I thought it'd be really nice just to talk about what energy healing is and what this particular modality is.
Well, tell us about your background, first of all, like how you got into, I know one of our episodes, our earlier episodes, you were actually doing acupuncture, and I was here with the little needles, and you saw that it didn't hurt, and it worked. It actually made me feel much better. So tell us about your background.
Well, I've been, when I was very young, I got into meditation and yoga in my teens, and I realized that there was another way for healing and health. And I had some health problems growing up as a kid, and I realized that diet had a lot to do with things. So I started blending those things together, and I became a body worker, then an herbalist, an acupuncturist, and one thing led to another. Studied Ayurveda, and I've been in practice since, when we were living in California in the 80s, late 80s, and Katherine and I have a center since 1992 in Concord, Mass.
Wow, were you up in San Francisco?
We were in the Bay Area, yep.
Oh,
That's
wow,
where we met,
I could
actually.
just see you. Did you have long hair?
I did. And a beard.
And a beard.
And a beard?
I did.
Oh, come. Do your kids see those pictures?
Oh, yeah.
They have 2 lovely, lovely boys, very talented. That's great,
Thank
the
you.
2 of you.
Thank you.
Whew. And they kind of like levitate too, those boys, don't they?
They walk in the
Kind of.
air.
So tell us about energy.
Okay, well, there's lots of different types of energy, and I'd like to approach it from the perspective of Jivatma energy healing, because in the yoga texts from the system of yoga from the East, it's understood that there are about 25 layers of a human being.
Wow.
And they go from the most dense to the most subtle. And the most subtle is consciousness,
Spirit realm?
spirit realm, and it's called covered consciousness. Is when we first come into this realm, we actually become covered by different energies, whether it's ignorance, passion, or goodness.
I see. Wow.
So we get covered, but beyond that is something called the Jivatma, and the Jivatma is the soul, or it's the pure consciousness that exists in every living creature, including the animals.
Yep.
It's what animates everything. So Jivatma energy healing is a process of balancing each layer all the way till we get to the jiva, to the jivatma, to the soul consciousness.
Wow.
And by doing that, everything comes into balance. So physical balance occurs, mental balance occurs, emotional balance occurs. And when those happen, then we can more easily be in contact with our own essence,
Wow.
with our soul essence.
So you're saying, let's say I came into you for the first time,
Right.
and then I wanted to do this kind of energy healing. So what kind of exam or test or you would do to figure out how dense I am or how
Well,
simple I am?
there are ways to do that, and sometimes, so there's two ways to do it.
Right.
There's an assessment that I'll use muscle testing. I can check to see what the chakras are balanced or not balanced. There's vials that I think you experienced
Yep,
last time
yep.
that we can check so many things. But on the other hand, if someone was to coming just for energy healing, I don't really need to do all that.
Okay.
Because all we'll do is get you on the table, and during the process, so much information comes. Kind of like when Catherine's doing a reading.
Sure.
I
It's
get
in
it.
the
I get
moment.
it differently. I get the information differently, but just by being in the presence of that person, I can feel as we go through each layer what's going on. And as we're doing that, I'm simply allowing, or in one sense, intending for that particular energy to come into balance.
Wow.
And once I feel it comes into balance, I go to the next layer, and it goes from dense to subtle. So you just go through that process, layer after layer after layer. And so as people experience it, what happens is they just tend to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And by the time they're done, they're just like, they just feel really as if they've gone into a very deep place inside themselves. And for me, that's healing. You know, there's many things. I may do acupuncture if someone has a sore arm or if they have some kind of digestive issue, whatever. But this brings healing, not so much focusing on a symptom, but actually
being.
clearing the energy of the whole being, exactly.
On all these levels.
And then healing happens anyway.
Well, what's wonderful about that is we're so busy in our lives. I know, after the show, I'm running around, I'm doing this
Stress.
before the show, and then I have my
Stress,
kids,
stress,
and now the cat,
Sure.
and the whole thing. But what's great is that to get to that deep level is like I cherish to try to
Right.
get there. For those who've
meditation.
never been to that deep level or the deepest of level, it's satisfying.
It's nourishing.
Yes.
It is. It's nourishing is such a good way. So, and you help people get to that level.
Right, and many people don't know that that level is even possible. That's another thing, is that most people many people have never experienced that. So even by experiencing it one time, it's profound because they realize, wow, I had no clue that there's this whole other dimension
Right.
of life and what's possible for me,
Right.
inside my being. And once they get familiar with that territory, even if, like you said, your life is going to get busy and crazy, if you know you can get back there, I call that sanity.
You call it what?
Sanity.
In other words,
Oh, that's so
if you
great.
never think you can get back there,
Yep.
if we actually run around our life thinking, I'll never feel peaceful and happy again, that is a very disturbed state of being.
Sure.
But if you're very disturbed and you know somewhere, you know what, I'll get back there. That's a very different reality for somebody.
Now, can you give, let's say we came to you for a treatment or whatever you call it, and then you got me into that state, and it was so profound, and then I go out and somebody's honking the horn and the whole thing like happens.
Yeah.
So is there a tip or anything you can give our viewers on how to try to get back into that
maintain
space?
it.
Yeah, well, oftentimes what I'll do at the end of a session is I'll actually tell the person, just lie here for a minute, and what I want you to do is slowly open your eyes and just allow yourself to really sense what you're feeling and get familiar with it. And even imagine that you've been here millions of times before. And let it be completely natural, like it's the most natural thing in the world. And then I can even make a suggestion sometimes, especially if I know somebody who may be in a lot of stress. When you're out in the world, all you have to do is take a breath, and you'll be able to contact, like a thread, to this state. It's always in you, because that's the reality. That state of consciousness is in everybody. It's always available. You
Right.
just don't know it. So, and then it becomes a little practice, and then there's also a meditation practice that I often
Right.
give people that they can also do that too. So it's not about being in the perfect state of consciousness
Sure,
all the time.
sure.
Because this day and age is not possible.
Right.
But learning how to get there and experiencing that on a regular basis is really healthy.
And
it
you
can help
empowered
create
them
balance.
to find that
Exactly.
space, and once you
Exactly.
did that, then it's theirs. It's
Right.
it's theirs to begin with, but you just
Right.
either awakened them to it.
Right.
And it's truth. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go into the woods. I mean, it does help to go into nature in a quiet space, but you don't have to. You can stop on the side of the road as long as you're parked safely and get into that space. And many times I try to do this because it's the only way I can get to the next level without knocking myself over with all my negative thoughts and my stress.
You can draw on and access. You're adding every time you receive body work, a good reading, a healing, anything in the holistic healing arts, you're building what I call a medicine bag.
Oh, that's a
and you
great
can
way to
draw
put it.
on that medicine bag for yourself anytime. You remember, you learn a meditation, you learn a breathing technique, you receive healing. When you receive healing from someone, they're not healing you. Your inner healer is being awakened and activated, and they're joining together in a synthesis that creates this healing to happen.
Right, it's almost like if you have a broken bone. I'm going to give it, I like to bring it out because we're opening the spiritual world to the world. So the doctor's not healing your bone. The doctor is just putting a device on it to not move it so that
healing.
your
So it can
body
heal.
is healing
It's a
it.
nice analogy.
So you're basically doing that. You're not healing them, you're
Right.
just helping
And you know
them.
what's really nice about it too? Me as a practitioner, or as people who practice it, get to practice going into that state on a regular basis.
That's
you
right.
are
So it's
too lucky.
really nice for me.
So you're never going to retire,
No,
right?
and he's
never gonna
teaching,
retire,
but he's
exactly.
teaching the first time. Tonight is the first class of Jivatma training. It's a new modality. It's
That's
opened up not
fantastic.
only for healing practitioners, massage therapists, healers, people like that, but even, people, lay people, whatever you want to call them.
Yep.
You just want to learn it.
People who just want to learn about healing, the ability that they have in themselves to give healing and receive healing.
That is
Like you could come
fantastic.
take the course and you could learn
But you
how
have to
that.
do that. You have this gift, and it's your role, and you don't have to, but it's your
feel
role
like I have
to
to.
share that. I
Right.
feel too. I feel we have to do this.
Right.
This is our role. We have to show everybody how to get to that wonderful, peaceful state so we love each other, basically. First of all, love ourselves, then love each other. And when you do your psychic tip, I mean, just wait. Don't not go away.
You mean
That's
the
it.
reading or the tip?
No, you're going to do the psychic tip later that she talked about when we worry, what that means.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the things that we're learning and I'm learning that makes me a better person, a better parent, a better significant other, a better neighbor.
Yep.
So Jonathan,
Sure.
do we have a minute to just ask you a little bit? You developed this yourself, so how did it come to be? Because it incorporates some of the Ayurvedic principles, as I understand.
It incorporates Ayurvedic principles. It just kind of started, in one sense, downloading.
Ayurveda is Eastern Indian medicine.
Right. So with my knowledge of that, and I've studied a number of different modalities of energy healing, and they're all wonderful systems in and of themselves. It was just that I started doing it and started having understandings about how the energy worked based on the principles of Ayurveda. And these principles are actually extremely common sense. They have fancy words like prana and agni and fancy Sanskrit words, but they're all extremely common sense. And they relate very realistically to what's actually going on inside of the human being, from, like I said, the most physical to the most subtle or pure consciousness, and there's so much in between. So as I started exploring that with each patient, I started having insights. And as I started having it, I kept following these insights that I was having, and finally developed this system that I've actually had to write down, which is the biggest challenge.
He would, at the end of like an acupuncture session, he would do a little jivatma as he was
Right.
developing it, and
Oh,
he'd get
that's great.
feedback from the patient, and they were like, they started coming and going, I want more of that Jeev stuff you do, and then maybe not the needles.
Bee Gees, the Bee Gees stuff.
Jivatma.
That's great.
Yeah.
So
Soul healing.
the way people can get in touch with you is through it's your website's coming up,
Yep.
and they can come have any kind of sessions,
Yep.
and really it's
Definitely.
just part of soul healing and
Soul
soul.
healing. That's
can
what
vouch-
Jivatma
tuning.
means. Jiva means soul.
Jonathan
Jivatma
is
soul.
an excellent healer. I
Oh,
can
you
vouch
are.
for that.
You've done a lot of healing on me, and I'm going to come back. We need tune-ups.
You
Yeah.
do?
We do.
All right,
Absolutely.
Okay, you got to help
Love
us
it.
with our psychic
Yes,
challenge.
thank you
Okay.
so much, Jonathan. We'll have you back too because we love learning everything
Thank
you
you
have
very
to
much.
share
Thanks for
with
having
us.
me.
You can hold the crystal ball. 'Cause that's
Nice.
I'm going to hold the chains.
Ancient
All right,
chains.
this is a psychic challenge. This
Come in
is
closer.
where you have an opportunity to tune into your sixth sense. And when Katherine projects what she's picking, like Jonathan and I don't know, we all try to tune into what she's sending out there. As you are, you can write it down. Or Katherine, give us a quick tip about what they should be doing when they pick up on
Close
this.
your eyes with me, and I'm going to send and project an image of one I'm thinking of, and I want you to open your mind to the images or words you may hear or anything that comes to you in any way, or a feeling and then open your eyes and look at the three objects again and see which one you feel is the one that I'm sending to you
Okay.
telepathically.
So you're doing it now?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Done.
Done? Okay. I'll tell you what came to me afterwards. So we're going to take a break now. When we come back, Katherine is
She'll
going
tell you
to
even
do.
if she's wrong.
You know what? That's what I love doing it, because you just have to keep working at
That's
it.
right.
Like, you can't become a good runner if you're not exercising and running. So
right.
you're trying to get better at it. Jonathan, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. We'll have you back again. And I'm going
good.
to get some acupuncture at your place soon.
Sounds good.
And don't go away, because Katherine's going to demonstrate her on-air reading with our lucky guest, Ashley.
Yes.
Great.
Don't go away.
Let's make a soul connection. Soul to soul connection.
Welcome back, and this is the segment of the show where I'm going to give an on-air reading to our lovely guest, Ashley. Hi, Ashley. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
And Ashley, I happen to know, is also very intuitive and a psychic, so this is kind of fun, psychic reading the psychic. But it's great when you're a reader to get readings. It's very lovely, so we all like that.
Yes.
All right, sweetie, so I'm going to just tune into you and think about, while I'm reading you, if any questions come up that you have that are specific. Sometimes I'll hit something and you'll want me to expand on that a little bit. Okay.
All right.
I'm just going to tune in. So first, Spirit is just, I feel like there's cheerleading going on. Spirit is going, yay, yay! They're very glad about your coming out party, is what I'm hearing, and I don't exactly know what that means, except I feel like it has to do with your career and your work in life, and that you're beginning to, you're a youngin' in my book, you're about, and you have wonderful, wonderful adventures ahead of you, obviously, but this is a very important turning point period in your life. It's sometimes called the Saturn return in astrology terms. Are you familiar with astrology?
A little bit.
So Saturn return takes a certain amount of years to revolve around the chart, and you're hitting that place where huge changes that are very significant for a 20-year period after that will be affected. So things that are happening, marriages, divorces, deaths, moves, career changes, big things coming for you in the next 20-year period. So how things are going now has to do with what's going to be coming for this period of your life in the next 20 years. And for what I'm hearing is mostly about your presence in the world. You have a job now, you said you work with children, is that right?
Yes.
You teach? What do you do?
I nanny.
You nanny, okay, okay.
Yes.
So working, oh yeah, okay. So the children love you, the animals love you, you're very connected to those sort of innocent realms, and that's what makes you so intuitive as a psychic. But your work as a reader and a healer is really going to be blossoming big time. There's no secret about that. And I'm hearing you got to be patient. You need to be patient. It's like a horse chomping at the bit to go out the gates. And then you go back and forth. You have this dualistic thing about shyness and pulling back and not trusting it. But that just comes in time. It comes by doing it. So strengthen that ability, strengthen that muscle, give what you get, and only read when you're set up to want to do it, when you want to do it. Don't have leaky boundaries about it all over the place, because it might tire you out. So when you're going to see a client or do a reading, set up a time specifically for that and do that. And keep it, like, don't start reading the people that you work for off the cuff. Sometimes you can't help it because you get information and you see stuff, but I'm telling you from experience, start learning boundaries now, okay?
Okay.
Because you are a giver. You are definitely a giver. You're a nurturer and a giver by nature, and you have a lot of light coming off of you, and people are going to flock to you because of that. So it's a really important thing for you to learn. This is all Spirit telling me: boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Okay? You get to say when, who, where, how. Okay?
I understand all of that. Yep.
Okay. Any questions?
No, I think you pretty much.
Okay. Is there a special someone in your life yet?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So that's going to be shifting in the next 18 months to 2 years. You're going to be meeting someone. There's going to be a relationship coming into your life. Hard to say right now if it's the relationship, but it will be significant. Okay. There'll be a big learning opportunity for you in this relationship, and that doesn't necessarily mean struggle. Learning can also be joyous and elevating and uplifting. I see a very happy period ahead for you regarding that. Kind of a fun, easygoing, playful energy coming into your life, and I believe it's romantic. We'll see. It may be a partnership of another kind, but I feel like it's a romantic thing, and it is coming. Just, again, be patient. Spirit's saying be patient, be patient. Try to start getting your ducks in order, Ashley. They're saying get some business cards printed up, start acting as if, and really bring it out more and more, because there's going to be a roll of energy that comes in that's a demand on you. Besides the current work you're doing, there's going to be this sideline coming in, and you need to be prepared and ready. Really quick before we end, when is your birthday?
September 10th.
Oh my God, that's my sister's birthday. Okay, so you're attentive to detail. I know, because Virgos love detail, and you're analytical. Don't let your analytical mind slow down your progress on the intuitive level.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be perfect before you launch.
Okay.
Okay? It develops as you go.
Okay.
All right, sweetheart.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for being on
much.
air with us today.
Thanks.
And that's our segment of reading. Thank you.
Make a soul connection. Soul to soul connection.
Welcome back to Sixth Sense and Beyond. That on-air reading was fantastic with Ashley. You are so gifted in.
Thank you, Christina.
And one thing you said that I wanted everybody to hear is that when you do a private session, it's not rushed and it's not short.
Right,
And
we have 5 minutes. It's very different on the air.
and it's just a demonstration.
The
so
pressure.
People, I know. It's just a demonstration, so you can all see what a reading's like, and it makes it fun. It makes it fun to
It's not
kind of
scary.
just be in someone's life. You know, it's almost like a reality series.
Right.
That's great.
So now
anyway,
we're doing
the
our
psychic challenge.
Yep. So I chose one of these 3 objects and I radiated it out to you guys, and I want you to tune in and see what you got. And I'm going to tell you now
Yeah,
that
'cause-
I chose
Which one?
the crystal ball.
I
How
got
could
it
not?
right this time,
How
so
could I
I'm
not?
getting better.
It has
yes.
so much energy. It was calling me.
It was calling me too. So yeah, so that was it. So if you got it right, perfect. If not, try it next time.
Yep. Keep trying. So
right.
we're going to talk about, in our psychic tip section today, we're going to talk about worrying and what that does to the people and loved ones that you are worrying about and yourself.
That is so great.
When we worry about someone, we do it from love, right? We're anxious. Oh my God, is my son going to make the train? Is he safe on the train? Is my dog okay at the vet today? Oh my God, what if they do something wrong?
Right.
We tend to always automatically go into the fear. Now, I'm not saying everybody does that, but a lot of us do. It's human nature. So in order to remedy that, understand that every thought you have about someone, especially a loved one that we have strong emotions towards, we are sending a cord of psychic energy to that person, to their energy field. Whether they're consciously aware of it or not, it does affect them. So if I'm going along my day and I'm anxious because my child is driving for the first time, for example, and I go into that, oh God, please let it be safe, and I'm praying out of fear, that vibe is going into my son's aura, and he may suddenly feel anxious himself, which does not support him, right, in the world. So what you need to do is, if you can be aware and conscious in that moment of worry, to shift that thought. And here's how you do it. Do it with me.
Okay.
Everybody close your eyes. Pretend you're worrying about someone you love. Now see that
That's
thought.
easy being Greek.
See that worry thought, and I want you to superimpose in your mind an image of an angel, for example, onto that thought, onto your loved one. See an angel of light coming and sharing light. And if angels doesn't resonate with you, then send just a beautiful color, a loving pink or gold ball of light to that person, and see that person in their happiest, highest state of being.
That is
Imagine them
great.
just calm and safe and beaming light. And one particular thing you can do also, if you're really wanting someone to be safe, is to give that energy up to a higher power. Say, you know what, divine, take my son and keep him safe today.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
And that empowers us too. So as I said, being
It
Greek, we
calms
grew
you
up
down.
worrying. And I do, I tend to worry. But now you just gave us a way to shift that
Absolutely.
into not worrying, but sending beautiful light and protection and all that.
Yep.
That's
And
great.
when you do that, you get vibrated with that same energy, so you start to feel good.
I like it.
Yeah.
And stop worrying about yourself too. You
Yes,
know? Right.
exactly.
Okay, well, thank you so much for another exciting show. Thanks to Jonathan for being here again at Healing Essence Center.
He's great.
Our
Yeah.
on-air reading guest, Ashley, and you too. Readings at sixsenseandbeyond.com, readings at sixsenseandbeyond.com. And Katherine, our sponsors,
Healing
Julio's.
Essence Center, sorry.
Yes,
Healing Essence
yep.
Center is the one that comes to my mind.
Absolutely.
And Julio's.
Liquor, Spirit
Spirit
Meets
Meets
Spirit,
Spirit.
YMCA, so much more, and it's celebrating 150 years. Commerce Bank, thank you so much for keeping us on the air, as well as TJ Woods Insurance. And Christian, thanks for making us look like angels.
Yes, and fairies.
And fairies, yes. And have a great summer and just enjoy it. Don't worry, be happy,
worry.
right? Don't worry.
Send
be
that
happy.
golden light.
Absolutely. And have a great day and a great evening.
Thanks for
Let's make a soul connection. Soul to soul.